everyone, and welcome to the Arthur Murray Lifestyle Series. I'm Victoria Regan, the Global Ambassador for Arthur Murray International. There's a lot to be said for longevity, commitment, and a passion for the Arthur Murray system and the lifestyle that it provides for all of us. Here to express appreciation and share their experiences are franchisees Anthony and Julie Coberg.
Hi, Victoria. So nice to see you. Hi, honey. Nice to see you too. This is our new life in two different places. Now that we have two studios, so it's a treat for me to get to see him today.
And you know, it's being with Arthur Murray for 20 years. This is a relatively new. We opened a couple of years ago in North Carolina, and Julie and I have run the two schools separately, and we basically get to see each other on the weekends. And so the weekends have become very sacred to us. And of course, we're in constant communication throughout the week, but we're very excited about our new venture in North Carolina, and of course, Indiana as well.
We definitely want to cover as much as possible, but before we get into the studio business, share a bit about your background and family history. So Julie, ladies first, and Anthony, please follow.
Well, I guess it starts, I have a very unusual background for my parents. They started in the circus. That's how my parents met, which is always a fun little story. They came together. My dad was in the flying trapeze and my mom was an acrobat. She ended up on the Mickey Mouse Club show and all kinds of neat, exciting things that went on. My dad worked with Jack Brickhouse on the radio. They just had these amazing lives together that I was very fortunate to be born into. And I guess the idea of my parents, my dad being Latin, they always danced. I don't remember a time when my parents weren't dancing. And so I love to dance. I love music. I just love celebrating. It didn't matter, a birthday party, wherever we were dancing. And so, you know, down the road, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. My parents opened a restaurant. It was very successful for them, but it definitely wasn't my passion. And I just found myself drawn to dancing. I had taken a few lessons, and of course, because of my busy restaurant lifestyle, I really wasn't able to partake. But later on, when my parents sold, I found myself, what am I going to do? And found myself drawn back to the dance business. And that's kind of how I got back into Arthur Murray's. And voila, here I am.
And for myself, I started in 1985 as a student in Maryville, Indiana. Was very small at the time, studio, small community. I was the last person to anyone would ever think would take a dance lesson. Back then I was kind of rebel without a clue. And my parents had gone to a wedding and some girl asked me to dance. And of course I had never stepped on a dance floor and wouldn't then either. And so a couple weeks later, we used to use this thing called the phone book before the internet. That's how we found things. And our dentist was moving his practice. I was flipping through the D's and there was a big ad for Arthur Murray. And in my naive youth, I didn't even know what that was. But I called up and I said, is it hard to learn how to dance? And they were well trained because the next thing I knew, I was scheduled for an appointment. And I was a student for about a year and a half. And then I went into a training to be an instructor. And that was 36 years ago. So the rest is history.
Anthony, you made me aware that Merrillville is the second longest running studio in Arthur Murray's history, and that John Kimmons had a connection to the opening of that area. Tell us more about that.
Well, yes, Victoria, you are correct. What I came to find out that we're the second longest running Arthur Murray in the same location, literally in the same building. And what's interesting about that is John Kimmons, who was at one time owner of the Chicago Arthur Murrays, back in 1980 opened the studio. I came in 1985. So the studio has been we've celebrated a 30-year anniversary, and it was really neat because of John's connection to Maryville as the original person who opened the studio. When we had our medal ball for our 30-year anniversary, it was very special. We did a telecast where John basically congratulated. I think he was excited because it's interesting to think that a man from Australia would open a studio in a very small town, especially back then. And he had the foresight to see that it was going to be a growing area. And so that's a little bit of the history. And in that 30 years, I had the good fortune of meeting the love of my life in 1995 or thereabouts and what was great about with Julie and I, we got to know each other as friends first and co-workers. It wasn't immediately a romantic situation for a good 8 months or a year. And when we had a medal ball that we were preparing for, we had to do a foxtrot routine together. And that was really the beginning of the best part of my life.
I cannot even quantify what being in Arthur Murray's has meant to me, but the most special part that came out of it was, of course, meeting the love of my life. And you never know how business and life is going to impact, but with having the two studios and being together this way, it's made us even stronger. I think you think it's either going to tear you apart or bring you together. And we cherish our time together so much now that it is been an incredible, incredible experience. I am so grateful, and I am forever grateful for that foxtrot.
And the 40-year anniversary, Julie, maybe I'll let you share a little bit about we actually celebrated 40 years in Maryville right before the world ended with COVID in January of 2020. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about that event?
Oh, wow. It was an incredible experience because, you were always saying, like, our mission statement at the studio is changing lives one dance step at a time. That is what our core mission statement is. And you realize over time, as you're working with people, the impact that it has on them at the moment. But I guess over the longevity of time, 40 years in one area to impact so many people. We had I think we had like 180 people come to our event. It was just our event. We had current students, we had former students, we had guests, and it was, I don't, the words to describe it was just amazing. And to see all these people coming to us saying, you changed our lives, you made such an impact. It was the best time of our life when we were there dancing, and it enhanced our lives together. You just can't express what that means to you to have had that, to be able to touch lives like that. And we'd have never been able to do that without being a part of this incredible organization.
And the other thing, we just kind of as a sentimental thing, we danced we decided, let's, being in different studios, it's not so easy to practice, and we don't get much opportunity to dance together in a professional setting like that. So we had Al Ardashenko choreograph a foxtrot. We actually practiced, and we had great fun with it. We practiced in our respective studios, and then we got a day or two to actually do it together. So that was great fun.
You mentioned what Arthur Murray's and dancing has done for all your students. What has the Arthur Murray lifestyle done for you?
Well, I mean, for me, it's given me some of the most amazing memories and experiences of my life. Obviously, it's given me my husband. I've gotten to do multiple routines with my boys, which is magical. And I've gotten to watch my parents grow as dancers. They dance all their lives. I actually just try not to mess them up when I would teach them in their natural dancing, but watch them go out and do routines at our events. And probably, outside of that, I have always dreamed I love travel. And, the opportunities that are available to be able to travel the world have been endless. Rome was one of my first trips, Venice, going to Barcelona, and maybe walking around and hearing a little two-piece band playing and getting to dance with my husband in Barcelona or somewhere. Magical moments I couldn't get anywhere else or experience in any other way. So that's what it's done for me.
For me, as a 16-year-old kid from Hammond, Indiana, with really no clue in life, I, unlike Julie, who came from a wonderful family, I came from a broken home. And even as a student in that period as a year, there was something special, even as my time as a student, that I immediately felt like a sense of family that I had never had. And then when I got into being an instructor at 17 and a half, that feeling only grew. I've had the opportunity to meet instructors and franchisees from around the world. And it's not an exaggeration to say that for me, it is, in many ways, it is my family. And I'm forever grateful. All of you out there who know me, you know who I'm talking about. And so that, for me, is the most important aspect of the lifestyle.
I thought this would be a great question for the two of you. After 36 years of operating, what are you most proud of?
Well, Victoria, there are so many things, but one thing that stands out to me personally, especially because when I very first started, we were more of a social school. But over the years, we've become a very competitive school. And so the high level of achievement of our students and staff over the years at various Dance-oramas and showcases is something that I'm particularly proud of. Another thing that is very closely related is the coaching system that we developed over the years that I believe is the biggest contributor to that success. And that there was a period of time for 10 years where we averaged 40 private student coaching lessons a month. So we're talking about thousands and thousands of coaching lessons from some of the top people in our business. And it's really a credit to them. But that system, and Julie was instrumental in helping develop that, and that she came up with a concept of standing appointments for coaching lessons. And so that was huge. And Julie, I'll let Julie kind of talk about what she thinks.
Well, I know that for Tony and I, even though, I was at home with the boys, one of the people that we're most proud of that came through our school was James Dutton. He started in our school. And from day one, he was pretty set that eventually he wanted to be a franchisee. He said that pretty early on, and you kind of wonder how serious they are, but of course then moved on and went to work for Jill, wanted to move on to bigger, better things in a big city, and did phenomenal. And of course now is the proud owner of Naperville and Oakbrook and is just doing amazing. So we couldn't be more proud of him. And then last but not least, of course, our boys and the life that it has given us to be able to provide for them. We were so grateful that two of our boys were very involved in the schools, competitive dancer and very successful. And the other one, although just started maybe a short time ago, is just soaring like an eagle, is doing phenomenal. So we could not be more proud of them. And then our other boys, the experience, because they all did an internship in the school, the way that it has impacted their lives has been incredible in their people skills. And so we're just very, very proud and very thankful.
We're always interested to know what activities you involve your students and staff in, and what about local events?
Well, Victoria, I'm going to sound like an Arthur Murray commercial here, in that I think one of the great advantages of being a part of Arthur Murray is if you offer your students activity-wise the things that historically have always been a part of Arthur Murray's. For example, we hold an annual medal ball in a beautiful banquet facility that the students really enjoy and love. We do showcases locally We're very fortunate to be a part of Jill DeMarlo's wonderful, one of the biggest showcases in the country. It's amazing. We also get to partner with smaller markets like Grand Rapids and Fort Wayne. And so it really provides that kind of regional, local element for our students. And then, of course, we're very heavily involved in Dance-A-Rama as we get to travel. Our students are going both in the United States, and we even do the international competitions as well. So those are just a few of the things that we offer. And then, Julie has a lot is a great ambassador for some of our charity events and some of our other local events. So Julie, maybe you'd like to join in.
Of course, it's always a team effort, but I was, locally, of course, in studio, we're always offering in studio parties and in studio showcase to do, but probably one of our favorite things that we do is we take the students out to a local nightclub, Buddy and Pals. We have a great relationship with them, and we'll take about 25 to 30 students, and we kind of create that feeling of they're that person in the club that the floor opens up to watch them dance. And it's such a great experience. They have so much fun and just kind of feel like that couple at the place. So I think, which is kind of what everybody is excited about when it happens. So that's one of our favorite local events that we do. We also are completely honored to be able to work with our local chapter of the Parkinson's organization, and one of the local businesses that actually helps take care of and helps facilitate a workplace for young adults and older adults with special needs. It's called Opportunity Enterprises, an incredible event. And we are able to partner with them, whether we're teaching one of their young adults to dance, to perform, or we perform. It's a magical experience. We love being a part of it. And then, as a side note, we love taking our staff to all of the fall forums and the TOCs. I think we're so excited that they're coming back in live, because I think for the staff, it's probably one of the most pivotal things that they get to participate in, to get to see the huge nature of where Arthur Murray's can go, and get to talk to other instructors and professionals in the studios that can show them the bigger picture.
Anthony and Julie, thank you so much. I've enjoyed sharing this time with you. And thank you for your dedication to the Arthur Murray lifestyle and for sharing your personal and success stories. I look forward to seeing you at the next Dance-A-Rama, and wish you the best of luck with your lifetime pursuits.
Well, Victoria, this has been a real treat for both Julie and I want to thank you, Arthur Murray International, John Kimmons, who without him, Merrillville wouldn't be there, and I wouldn't have met the love of my life, Julie, and also all the colleagues around the world that have made such an impact to us, fellow franchisees and teachers that we've gotten to know. Thank all of you, and it's been wonderful. We're looking forward to the future.
I second that.
And a huge thank you to all of you watching and supporting the Lifestyle Series. Just remember, keep on dancing.